Today we're repotting an orchid that has floppy leaves and is kind of tilted over the side of the pot. Let me show you how to fix it. One of the challenges of growing in terracotta is that sometimes these really powerful orchid roots stick to the side of the pot, so sometimes they don't want to slide out. If that's the case, soak your terracotta pot in water, and you want to work in a little knife right behind the roots, but luckily this one slid right out. Next we're going to check for root rot. You're going to know your orchid has root rot if some of the roots are mushy or papery thin, just like this one is right here. Let me cut it off and I can show you what that looks like. Come here, focus. Has no substance to it whatsoever. So all orchid roots, if they are healthy, they are going to be firm, much like this one. So if I pinch one of these silver ones between my fingers, they're going to be nice and firm. Now, silver doesn't automatically mean it's a healthy root, just like brown doesn't automatically mean that it's an unhealthy root. Yellow doesn't automatically mean it's an unhealthy root. If it is anything but firm, it's not healthy and it needs to go. Now, sometimes the plant leans over in its pot like that because a lot of these roots, like this one, have died off. All of these down here are completely dead. So the support system has kind of died away. And just like if you were to take out a support system of a building, a structure, it's going to kind of start to tip over. So we're going to go ahead and cut off more of our roots. This is isopropyl alcohol. Because I'm cutting on somebody else's plants, it's a good idea to kind of sanitize your pruners. Hopefully I've got a rag in here. Oh, good. There you go. And now you can just start chopping away. You want to cut the entire root off all the way up until where it is unhealthy, or to where it's, you want to cut off all the unhealthy, okay, is what I'm saying. Here, let me bring you a little bit closer so you can see. See how I've just worked my way up all the way to the base of the stem? Sometimes you'll have part of a root that is completely healthy right here and then it starts to go bad. I just cut it wherever it's bad. Just cut off all the dead parts. Now you can see this old flower spike right here. There's no need to keep these old buggers on right here. They're never going to flower again. They're completely died. If they are green at all, then you have some life in it. But if it's not, get rid of it. The rest of the stem down here, that's perfectly fine. But after all of the dead roots are removed, it's time to get it back into a new pot. While we're getting the new pot ready, I'm just gonna have this soaking in this nice little solution. This is Bigfoot concentrate. It's a fungus that's really beneficial. Sometimes it's not totally beneficial for orchids as far as the mycorrhizae part of it goes, but it's still beneficial because it has other ingredients. So we're just gonna let that hydrate a little bit right there before we get it into the new pot. Actually, I don't think we're gonna need to use a new pot because we lost so much of the root system. I think we're gonna be perfectly fine just getting it right back into it. And the terracotta in no way was contributing to the root rot of the plant. So I don't want you to think that, you know, terracotta is bad for it whatsoever. That was a human error. Terracotta is actually fantastic. This one is actually made for orchids. You can see how it has these extra holes on the side. Anytime you see a pot that has the extra holes on the side, it's indicating that it is for an orchid, and that's because orchids grow on the sides of trees, and so they have constant airflow to their roots. They don't really have any roots that go into the ground. So by having a terracotta pot and the extra airflow on with the holes right here, not only are you getting the porous and airflow all the way around the entire pot, therefore the entire root system, really kind of redoing the environment that it naturally grows in, but you also have the big old holes, and it's also one could drain much faster as well. You have holes on the bottom also. So for my soil, I am using an orchid mix. This is called Orchid's Glow Up. I've got it right here. It's equal parts long fiber sphagnum moss, so they have a little bit of retention because these orchids, like I said, grow, yes, on the sides of trees, but they grow in the tropics in Southeast Asia. And so it rains there, not a whole lot all the time, but enough to where the plants are getting like a little trickle of water. Basically, they get rained on, they get wet, and then they dry out because they're exposed to so much air. So the sphagnum moss in here is really gonna help with a little bit of the moisture retention, and then we've got a chunky orchid bark and a chunky perlite as well to help with that airflow. Again, really helping out with the airflow that the orchid needs. So I'm just gonna put a little handful at the very bottom. I'll probably put a couple actually to start with. I'm already making a mess. All right, you can see that baby right there. And then we are going to get our little orchid out of the pot here. You see all the roots have turned kind of a greenish color. That's indicating that they are hydrated again. And now we're going to fix the orchid. You see how some of these roots are wanting to stay out of the pot? Anytime you have orchid roots that are climbing out of your pot, next time you repot them, you can always just stick them right back inside. That way they can get all the moisture and nutrients from, you know, the orchid mix, rather than just being out in the air and not really getting any benefit. The goal is just to get that medium all in and around the roots so that they can get the moisture and nutrients that are going to be kind of stored in the medium. because anytime you get this wet, the bark, the moss, it's going to hold on to that water and nutrients, and the roots are going to be sucking it up from that. So you want to make sure that it's all in and around the roots. One great way to get it to settle in is to slap the pot. That'll work the medium in and around those roots. Now keep in mind that you want to keep the crown above soil level. The crown is where all of the leaves converge, right in the middle, and you want to make sure that that is above the soil level. You should be able to see a little bit of exposed roots on there as well. There's a good little shot of that. So now I'm going to recommend the customer puts their plant in bright light. The only way you know that for sure if your orchid's in bright light, if it's getting 1,000 foot candles of light. You put the little sensor right here. This is a light meter that reads foot candles. You put the sensor right here, and then you want 1,000 foot candles of light for at least 4 hours per day of natural sunlight. Or if you're using a grow light like this, you want 1,000 foot candles of light for 12 hours per day. And you're gonna soak it. Soak, soak, soak. Even though we rotted the roots, a lot of people will hold off on watering their plant if their plant had a little bit of root rot. We've neutralized the root rot. We got rid of it. There's no more risk. So now part of the recovery process is the plant making sugar to keep itself alive and recovering from the shock. And there are basically 3 ingredients to the plant making sugar. It's light, okay, so we've got the 1,000 foot candles, and then it's going to be carbon dioxide. That just kind of happens naturally, thank you nature. And then it's water. So they have to combine those 3 ingredients. So by taking the water away, you're not allowing it to make the sugars that it needs to recover from the shock of the transplant. So now that we've got everything healthy, and they're going to water it more consistently when all of the roots have dried out, so 100% dry with your orchid, and then 100% soak, really saturating every speck of medium in the pot, then the plant is going to rehydrate the leaves right here. The fact that they are wrinkly is due to dehydration. Dehydration can come from overwatering or underwatering, and this was a combination of the two. There was some overwatering going on, which caused those bottom roots to really die off. And then the plant wasn't able to take up enough moisture to keep all of the leaves hydrated. So it was an imbalance of leaf to root ratio. But now as the new roots regrow, there's going to be enough of them to hydrate all of the leaves right here. That is how you repot an orchid and fix it from being nice and floppy. It's got it upright. Again, you can kind of firm it in if you want to, especially after your first watering. It's much easier to firm it in and keep it upright. We're going to give this plant a good soak, get it back to the customer, and she's going to be good to go. In 4 to 12 months, we should see another flower spike. And if you like my style of teaching and you want to learn more about orchids, I have an orchid course. It's about an hour long. There are 5 chapters, and it's going to teach you everything from lighting to watering to fertilizing, more in-depth repotting, and more. By the end of it, you'll be a completely confident orchid parent. And you can find it at the link in my bio or the description below.